Hey everyone, welcome back to Total Market Talk. This is the fourth installment. My name is David Chattel. I am the CEO and founder of NGL Media and the chairman and founder of the New Generation Latino Consortium. Today, I am very pleased to have my guest, Stephen Benanav. He is the vice president of content partnerships and the general manager of Flama. Flama is Univision's English language digital network. And I'd love Stephen to introduce himself, and then we're going to have a terrific conversation in store for you today. Stephen?
Hey, David. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting today. As you mentioned, I'm the GM of Flama. A bit of an interesting road getting here, but a lot of my, my past experience deals with media, both the content creation side, but also the business side. So on the content creation side, worked at companies like MTV, worked at concert promotion here in the city, did a bunch of concert production as well. And then on the business side, I was at McKinsey working in the media practice where we work for major media clients throughout the world. And so I've really seen sort of a lot of different aspects of the business. Univision was a bit of a different step. I hadn't worked in the Hispanic media space before. So it's been really an interesting ride for me so far.
Got it. So tell us about your role specifically at Flama, and you're obviously in charge of creating all the content. And I'm sure there's many different strategies that you're employing to engage this highly diverse, digitally connected U.S. Hispanic audience. Give us a little bit more background about what you do and the process you follow there.
Yeah, so I was employee number one at Flama. I can actually give you a little bit more background on sort of how Flama came to be. So Flama is a joint venture between Univision and a digital media company called Bedrocket Media Ventures. And it was really a great marriage where Univision brings sort of the Hispanic expertise to the table. Bedrocket had a lot of experience in the digital space, especially on YouTube, and brought some interesting and new technologies as well that we use for our website today. And so from a structural standpoint, it made a lot of sense to do this as a partnership with them. And I was really sort of the lead person when this whole venture began, and slowly but surely kind of grew out the team based on the needs. So that included building up, a small programming department, an editorial staff, social media, and then marketing and sales as well. And so, we really are sort of our own business within a business at Univision as we build out this property and this brand. I think we can say comfortably this is a very difficult audience to reach, especially when you're thinking bicultural, bilingual. They have probably more choices than anyone for what they can watch. And so for us, I think it's about defining a voice and defining a brand, and also, wrapping sort of that voice and brand around the content we're creating and making sure the content is where the audience is, right? So it's more than just having theflama.com, which is our destination website, but also making sure we're on the platforms like Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, and having content there, but not only just having the content there, but really programming for those platforms. So you have content that works based on how the audience consumes content in those places. Because you see, again, different patterns in different platforms. And so you need to make sure your programming aligns with how they would, take in a piece of content there.
Tell me a little bit about more, how did you arrive at the voice of Flama? It's a destination, a platform, if you will, that sort of has two pillars, culture and comedy. Often those things come together. How did you arrive at what is now the voice of Flama from a creative standpoint?
Well, we did a lot of sort of upfront branding sessions where we actually sort of sat down and talked about what we wanted to be and what we thought would be effective and what would really resonate and represent the audience we're trying to reach. And we felt, focusing on comedy and culture are both areas that are important to this audience, and would be, kind of a way to define who we are as a brand. And then it was about hiring, the team that we felt could represent that voice, right, and create the content in the spirit of that voice, which I think we have really done successfully. I think there's a certain style that we've developed, both visually and tonally, that people have come to associate with Flama. And I think, culture is something where the comedy, sort of the comedy culture piece, the culture piece gives us a little bit of playground to experiment in, where it can, tie back to music or dance or sort of lifestyle. And so, as long as we have sort of maintained the lens that we believe is our voice and our direction, we think it kind of all works with the brand that we're building. Yeah, I think first, doing everything in English was a conscious choice for us. I think if you look at the data, it's really sort of the numbers split, where you could say, okay, half of this audience is consuming in Spanish or half in English. There's no clear cut, hey, this is the language that's going to be most effective to reach this audience. You can cut in a million ways, and you can argue either way, really. But for us, the choice to do English was largely around the belief that, we think this is a very sort of easy and accessible language for the audience we're trying to reach. And it does give us that broader reach outside of just sort of the Hispanic millennial, right? We can really reach sort of anyone in the general market with what we're doing. And I think that goes back to sort of how you think about or how you perceive our core audience we're trying to reach. Really, I mean, how different are they from the general market? In some ways, they are different, right? They might have stronger cultural connections or ties to, their heritage, but at the same time, they're just like anyone else in the general market in terms of the shows they may be watching, or the restaurants they're going to, or the people they're hanging out with. And so, again, we wanted to sort of capture that experience of both being, general market, but also being a little bit different from the general market. It's a bit nuanced and hard to define, but something that we're trying to tackle. Yeah, I mean, even from the beginning, that was a question that everyone had, was how strong do we want to make the connection to the Univision brand? How standalone should it be? I think we took the position of, we want this brand to really represent and stand for the audience we're trying to reach. But at the same time, there is a lot that Univision brings to bear in this relationship, in this partnership, or this venture, really, that would be, make a lot of sense to take advantage of and leverage. So, for instance, one of the artists who Univision was working heavily with was someone named Becky G. So we work with Becky G on doing a docuseries. Another social influencer who we discovered is someone named Chachi Gonzalez. She's a choreographer, and she has a really large social following. She's just really an incredible dancer. And so we started doing a couple of projects with her, one of which was having her perform to songs of artists who would be performing at one of the big Univision all-day music festivals called Euphoria. So leading up to the festival, we'd show a different dance to a different song, really sort of building the excitement for the live event, also actually helping to promote the live event, but just making great, cool content of her dancing to some great music, including J Balvin or Kid Ink or Nelly. And it really culminated at the live Univision event when she performed on stage with J Balvin. So it wasn't a in-your-face, we're connecting this to Univision. It may have been a little bit more subtle, but both sort of the Univision live event really fit well with the audience we're trying to reach, and Chachi fit well in connecting, our audience to this Univision event. So it's really about being smart in how we make the connection. So that's one, I think, that's fairly contemporary. And then something that's a bit more nostalgic that we recently did is, so Flama has sort of taken on the llama as its mascot. So you'll see a lot of llama content on our website and on our social feeds. And we've created this character called Sebastian, who doesn't really say anything, but you'll see him, walking around New York City with balloons that make some sort of a statement. And so he's become a bit of an icon for us. And so what we did was we actually sent him to Miami, and he spent a little bit of time with Dom Francisco from Sabado Gigante, who, anyone who's ever seen Univision knows who Dom Francisco is. And it was really just fun to sort of make that connection to someone who's really just an institution in his own right with, this very new up and coming brand we're building. That's just, sort of a playful interaction.
Terrific. So with that, I know you have a couple clips to share. The first one we're going to watch is the Chachi one related to the J Balvin song. And then we'll play that with the, followed by the one with the Llama and Don Francisco. So please enjoy.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Chachi, and I love the song Tranquila by J Balvin. It's fun, it's sexy, and it's full of Latino flavor. You're about to watch me and my friend Shay and JoJo turn it up in the LA Arts District. I might even have to bust out the spray paint. So make sure to check it out, only on Flama.
Ey, ven acá, no perdas el tiempo, aprovecha el momento y tranquila, déjate llevar, échate pa' acá, dale, vamos ya que llegaron los kilas. Tranquila, dale baby, dale que tú no haces fila. Tranquila, dale baby, que tú eres la que más domina.
Check out the full dance video on theflama.com, and don't forget to come see me live in LA at the Euphoria Music Festival on August 16th.
Hello, I'm Don Francisco, and this is Sebastian the Llama. Sebastian and I are great friends. Very good. You're a professional, my friend. Oh. We hang out all the time, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh. And we have a lot of similar interests. My llama, my llama! What? No. Also, he's a great dancer.
Girl, you're so sexy. Yes, you're so sexy.
Sebastian is hosting Llama Week on Flama. 1 week, all llamas, every day. Oh yes, Sebastian has written the following statement. Llamas are the best. Everyone knows it. Cuts are boring? I disagree with this. Cuts are not boring. Oh, you have something for me. This is a beautiful gift, Sebastian. Thank you. Everyone, please enjoy Llama Week only in theflama.com. Oh, Sebastian. That's good. Very good. Beautiful.
Wow, those were awesome clips. I'm sure everybody enjoyed watching them too. Thank you for sharing the stories. And if I have time later, I want to come back to the llama. I think everyone wants to know how that came to be, but I know it rhymes with flama. Maybe that's it, but you'll tell me later. So as we look into sort of, the secret sauce of what you're doing, I know some of the things you play with, from a content perspective to be relevant to Latinos, but also sort of toe the line with comedy and culture. Sometimes, it gets pretty close to really blowing out stereotypes or really digging into stereotypes, which could be controversial if not dealt with the right way. And are the stereotypes you deal with through comedy, in this way more acceptable because the audience is sort of in on the joke? How do you balance that? It comes up a lot in comedy. I'm curious how you guys address it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a very delicate balance when you're trying to sort of play with stereotypes and have fun with them. And it's something you have to be careful of for sure, because you don't want to sort of overstep the line. For us, we really use the team as a filter. 80% of my team is Latino, representing, many countries. So Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, so on and so forth. So I think we have a very good sort of cross section of the audience that we're actually trying to reach. And we work very well as our own filter where, we'll kind of run it by the team and get their read on, hey, does this cross the line? Is this sort of within the bounds? And it's sort of a really funny inside joke. And that's a lot of the time how we manage it. And all the ideas, or the majority of the ideas, are just sort of generated internally based on, their experiences and what they've seen and what they think is funny. And then, I think because of that, it really can connect with the audience because the audience has also had the same experiences and it's very relatable.
So Stephen, I know you brought along a clip to sort of address this idea of flipping stereotypes on their head. So everyone's in on the joke, if you will. Why don't you set this up and then we'll take a look.
Yeah, so we thought it would be fun to bring some non-native Spanish speakers into the studio and have them try and say Spanish words, particularly some words that are, especially challenging to pronounce, and just kind of have fun with it and see what happens. And so this is the result of that.
All right, so let's take a look at Spanish words white people can't say. Enjoy.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and a semester in college. Don't know anything though.
I've taken no Spanish.
Should I introduce myself as a white?
50% of my family is now Spanish, and I can't speak a word of it.
Those posters on the subway that say deportes, I thought it was about being deported.
Pero.
Perro.
Pero.
Is it more of a Spanish R roll, like a tongue roll?
Perro.
I can't do that.
Idea?
Idea.
Idea? What is that?
Idea.
Idea, okay.
Is it not idea?
Wait, so this is just an English word, right?
It says idea.
Halar? It's not halar, is it?
Hallar.
Hi-ar.
I want to say it's just like holler.
Like you just gotta holler at some chick down the block?
Like holla.
Oh my God, that was incredible. I loved it. Tell us how that came to be and a little bit of the story behind it.
Yeah, again, we just sort of wanted to play around in the studio and see if we could get something fun out of it. A lot of the time we'll make things and there's no way to predict how successful or unsuccessful it'll be. This one happened to be a huge success where across Facebook and YouTube, I think it's been watched over 5 million times. And so there's definitely something about it that really resonated, with an audience, and it was shared and engaged, and people commented on it, and so it was really an exciting piece of content that we made. Yeah, I think I think I'll start out by saying I think we've learned a lot along the way in terms of series, what we want to make, what we like, what we think works or what doesn't work. I think when it comes to the internet, experiment is obviously key. It really is, it's cliche, but it's just evolving every day, and you have to sort of stay on top of the trends and keep trying new things to see what works. And I think we've done a good job of being a bit of an incubator or a lab. And so for us, a lot of what we're thinking about when it comes to series is, one, kind of the idea and the concept that we want to build off of. So it could be, again, something in culture, which would be like the series we did with Chachi that you saw, which is, again, more music dance related, or it could be comedy and really trying to figure out, okay, what's the storyline, or what is it about this that's going to work with our audience? Why will they want to watch it? Why are they going to care? And then along those lines, also tying in, who do we want to be a part of this, right? What are the personalities? Who are the faces and the voices? And in those situations, many times we'll look toward social influencers, right? People we've worked with on YouTube or Vine, who we think, bring a great audience with them. Their audience would be excited to see them do sort of a more premium series that we're producing, and kind of create that great marriage between the ideas we have and then, their personalities and sort of their social followings that get to come to the table.
Terrific. So I believe you have a clip to share with us of one of your most recent releases that features both regular actors as well as influencers. And I'd love you to set it up, and then we'll take a look at it.
Great. Yeah, so this series is called Empty Spaces. It's one that we would sort of liken a bit to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, sort of in terms of style and tone. It's a little bit of a dark humor that we think is pretty hilarious. And so it stars Nikki Limo, who is a big YouTube star, and Oscar Miranda, who's a big Vine star. And they're paired up as real estate agents in LA, basically trying to rent the worst apartments to some pretty horrible people. And they just kind of end up in really awkward, entertaining situations.
Okay, so with that, let's take a look at Empty Spaces.
No way. Kevin, I'm a real estate agent, not a handyman. What happened to Pedro?
Do I look like Pedro's goddamn secretary? If I could find Pedro, I wouldn't be talking to your dumb ass.
Did someone say Pedro?
Shut up, Carmen. You going too. This is Real Estate 101. Alicia rents out our most expensive property. When something breaks, we fix it.
No, when something breaks, Pedro fixes it.
If I hear that word Pedro one more goddamn time, I'm gonna bend over and eat my own asshole. Now, do you want that?
What do you want me to fix?
What could you possibly fix? Just go over there and scratch your head and buy me some time.
Got it.
Don't touch anything.
Okay, guys, you saw it here first. Empty Spaces on the Flama.com. You got to check it out. It's a terrific new series, and very exciting to see all these series you guys are developing. So outside of series, I know you're doing some original work on behalf of brands, right? At the end of the day, Flama is a business, and you're working a lot in the branded entertainment space. I'd love to hear more about some of the Fortune 500 brands that you're working with. How do they typically tap into your platform? What are some of the creative things you've done with them? And maybe, again, you could share some examples of your work.
Yeah, I think, I think for brands, what we really bring to the table is the ability to connect them to, both talent and an audience, a very highly coveted audience. And so we believe we make that much easier for them, and that we really understand the space and how to work within this space, which can be confusing, can be hard. I think we've learned a lot, and we've become very successful at it. And so, I think you have brands sort of on all different ends of the spectrum in terms of their comfort level with working in the digital space. You have some who, might only feel comfortable with, hey, I just want to run some pre-roll against your content, and sort of that's all I'm really comfortable with. Whereas at the other extreme, you have brands who want to do full-on integrations and really be part of the content. So for us, really coming, the initial conversation is where is this brand? Where are you in that spectrum? And then let's figure out what we can do to make it work based on, what you're trying to achieve. We believe really the branded content it's the most interesting aspect of digital media. Again, we've seen that this audience, they're really not turned off by brand integrations. I think, as long as they like the content and the brand integration isn't overwhelming, they're actually really comfortable with that and really accepting of it. We've even heard from some of our social influencers who said, would tell us, hey, initially I was worried about doing brand integrations. I didn't know how my fans would react, but then they said the response is actually quite positive. They're happy to see, some of their favorite digital celebrities getting these endorsements. And so, that sort of encouraged them to also participate in branded content. And so for us, we've worked with a bunch of great brands, including, McDonald's, General Mills, CoverGirl, and right now we're doing a really large campaign with Coke that's working with 4 major social influencers. And so we really have content that's living across many platforms. So Vine, Instagram, YouTube, our own website, and it's running basically from March until end of August.
So again, Stephen, I think you brought us a clip for Coca-Cola. We'd love to share it. And it features Lele Pons, who's a Viner, trying to bring in all of her fans to participate and do something great with the brand. So take a look and enjoy.
Hey guys, I'm Lele Pons, and most of you know me as the Do It For The Vine Girl. I can honestly say that social media has changed my life for the better and provided me with amazing opportunities along the way. Throughout these 2 years of Vine, I've had the best experiences. Meeting new people, making new friends, going to award shows, and so much more. Ay, Dios mío. I am fortunate to have gained the support of 7 million people, and now you can too. Because Coke and Flama are giving you the opportunity to work with me and create your own series. How great is that? All you have to do is create a 6-second Vine video showing how much you love Coke and what the theme taste means to you. For example, you can do something like this. Wait, what? The rules are simple. The campaign is only open to teens between the ages of 13 to 19. Sorry, Grandma. And you must show a Coke bottle or can in your video. Oh my God. And you must use the hashtag TasteButTalent and Taste of Fame contest in order to enter. What are you waiting for? I am so lucky to have the opportunity to choose the finalists along with Coke and Flama. So hurry up! Who knows? Maybe you'll become the next big thing. Good luck!
Wow, that was hilarious. She's awesomely talented and obviously a great find for this campaign. Tell us more about how this campaign came to fruition and sort of the different components of it.
Yeah, so we met with Coke and really understand that their mandate was to reach teens in a truly authentic and genuine way and something they would respond to. And so this concept we came up with was to work with the 4 social influencers and essentially have them find sort of the next generation of social talent. So essentially, we're giving away a series on Flama for the next social media superstar. And you'd have essentially 4 finalists who would get paired up. Each would get paired up with one of our major social influencers who are leading this campaign, like Alele Pons. Learn a little something from them, and you'd have the ultimate winner who would get this series on Flama. And so for the social influencers, they were excited about this because they like the idea of sort of passing it forward, right? Sort of they have their time in the sun. It's all about collaboration in that space, and the idea of, okay, I can actually now mentor and pass this on to someone is pretty exciting. So for them, that really helped draw them to this. And then also for the audience, they got really excited because it was a chance for them to suddenly become stars. So we saw almost 1,000 video submissions to enter and be a part of this contest. So we saw both great engagement and great response from the audience in the campaign. So starting with theflama.com, that's really, we love to premiere our original series there, but it's also a great place for our editorial content, where we'll do lists, we'll curate videos that we think are really cool and funny and interesting that our audience might not see. So it's really the central hub for our voice and who we are and kind of owning the Flama experience. But we also, again, as I mentioned, we know our audience is everywhere, and so we want to be where the audience is. And so Facebook is a great platform, both in terms of just pushing out content, be it video content you can upload directly or linking back to our website, or memes, or just engaging the audience and asking a question to get their thoughts on something. Twitter we love to use to talk about things that are happening or topical. Last night was the Latin Billboard Awards, so we joined that conversation. Instagram, again, a great place to sort of just create images and photos that we think represent the brand, and something our audience can appreciate when they're flipping through their Instagram feed and see something funny or entertaining from Flama. And then YouTube, of course, is a place where we work with a lot of the different YouTube talent, where they'll create videos for, really exclusively for our YouTube channel that we think fits the voice of the Flama brand. So we'll actively seek out YouTube creators who we think represent that voice.
So outside of comedy, I know you guys definitely have a fair share of just culturally relevant content. In particular, you have a show called The Rebel Report that's talking about all that's relevant for your audience in the world today. I'd love you to tell us more about it. Maybe we could look at a quick clip afterwards.
Yeah, so this is something that we've been working on for a while. Again, it features one of these social influencers who we think has really a great point of view, a great voice, and he'll pick an issue to cover for any given week. The video is anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And he'll sort of present his point of view. It's a bit sarcastic, but it's also, in some sense serious, because it's talking about a real issue for our audience. And so I think it's both, informative while being tongue-in-cheek and entertaining, while not sort of straight on comedy. We think it still sort of maintains the voice of our brand, right? It's a little bit left of center, a little bit offbeat, but again, conveys a pretty important topic, like you'll see in the this clip here.
Okay, let's check it out. The Rebel Report.
I'm RJ Aguiar, and this is Rebel Report, a show that will never learn to ride a bike, get cooties, or get married because we died in an accident. Okay, but seriously, how messed up was that nationwide ad? Of course, I want to know exactly how buying insurance is supposed to bring your kid back from the dead, but you gotta give Always props for having these stainless steel lady balls to stick it to the patriarchy in the middle of the most male-dominated television event of the year.
What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Fuck yeah, honey, you show those chauvinist pigs who's boss.
That was terrific. Thank you for sharing it. Again, The Rebel Report is available at theflama.com. Definitely go and check out more episodes. So, Stephen, we're wrapping up here. And with that, I want to know if you have any final thoughts to share. There's so much going on in the Latino digital space and the digital space in general, of course, in the world of original content, the type of stuff that you're producing. Tell us what you see as the future of this space and where Flama is going to fit into that space.
I wish I knew the future. This would make my job much, much easier. But for better or worse, we're trying to figure it out like everyone else out there. I mean, I think, you kind of look at the patterns and the trends, and you see more consumption online, on devices, on web native content. And so that's where we're going to continue to push and experiment. You see the shift in celebrity from sort of traditional celebrity you might see on TV and movies to moving online, right? And that's really, if you go to an event like VidCon, you see sort of the frenzy and the craziness around sort of the new celebrity. And that's where we need to be, and that's where we're going to continue to be, both in terms of the talent we work with and the space we play in. So we're going to, continue to try and evolve with the space and stay ahead of the curve as much as possible.
Yes, indeed. That is the name of the game. It's been a real pleasure, Stephen, having you on here. I think everyone's learned a lot about Flamma and what you do there. And I'd hope to have you on again sometime soon. And just want to thank you. And it's been a pleasure.
Great. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
You got it. Okay. So tune in next time for the next episode of Total Market Talk. This is David Chattel signing off.